Hello and welcome back to Trash It. On the episode today, I've got a smashing crew as per usual. I expect you by now to know everyone on this panel. But for argument's sake, if you don't know, I've got Celia, I've got Sosa, I've got Ejike, I've got Talia, and man of the hour, I've got Jago Jansis. You know, with Trash It, we always go to the streets of social media to fish out trends and information for you. So we snatch this information off the internet, but I'm going to read it. It's awfully long. I'll just do the snippet, but at the end of it, you get the gist. So it goes. My wife is the only daughter in her family with 4 brothers, and her family is super wealthy. Her brothers don't really rate me like that. It's not that they outrightly insult me, but they do it subtly, and I don't appreciate it. They always go on family vacation every year, even before we got married, and they continue till date, as they would always go with their partners. My wife do ask me to come with them, but I don't like it because of the way her family treats me. My wife and I always go on our own vacation, but this is like our own family tradition. So this year again, the plan to go, and my wife will be going with our kids because, as always, but I'm sick, really sick. And I asked my wife not to go this year so that we can all be together, but she insisted that she would go because it's a family tradition. And she cooked me different types of stew and soup and asked me to tell my sister to come and stay with me, which I feel is very disrespectful, to me. I never asked her not to go before, but just this year, I am sick, but she refused. And they shall have traveled. Is the man writing this now? They shall have traveled. I'm glad my kids are having a nice time, but I'm very angry with my wife. One time I was on the phone with her and I heard one of her brothers said I should check myself into her hospital. Are you guys listening? Yeah. And they will buy me supplements. And then they came back and they were all laughing. I've tried to talk to my wife about how our family treats me, but she doesn't understand because she said the insult is very subtle. Our family also gives her expensive gifts. I like this kind of family. They give her expensive gifts like cars, land, jewelry, diamonds, all these rich and things, and makes jokes like, let's help your husband take off some load. It may sound funny. I'm already laughing because it's actually funny and helpful, but it's insulting to me. And I can never tell my wife not to accept gifts from her family because that'll be stupid of me. I may be planning on getting her something, and boom, one of our brothers will get it for her. She will post something that she wants, and immediately one of our brothers will say how much and get it for her. It's ridiculous. I've tried to talk to my wife, explain to her now that she's married, that she has her own separate family, but she keeps saying I'm trying to cause problems with her family, and that receiving things from her family makes it easy for us to save money on other things. This may sound reasonable, but on the surface, as a man, it's annoying to me, and I find it really annoying. I jokingly said to her one day that if I leave, your brothers will be paying our kids' school fees. And she said, yes, that won't be an issue. Man, it's a lot. Her father just buy things for her children without thinking. If our kids want anything, she will tell them to call grandpa and he will get it for them. Our kids love her side of the family. Kids now, they're easy to bribe more than they love mine. And the affection that they have is different for her parents. So different that imagine telling your kids they can't travel to Disneyland with other cousins. I love my family. I love my wife. I love my kids. Our family is just making me unhappy. I am doing fine by myself. So this guy is not a broke nigger. I can take care of my family. I am building a house right now, and my wife do contribute. I told her she only has to contribute from her own personal earnings, not from the money her family gives her. I don't want anyone to come to me and say they help me build my house. I don't want insult. I can cater for my family, and her family is infringing a lot. My kids do not like visiting my family. Once they're there, they look sad and depressed. But once they're with her friends or our family, they are alive and vibrant. They are kids. I can't hold anything against them. It's just painting a clear picture of what I'm going through. I have a lot to say. I need help, and I would appreciate a very matured, unbiased opinion. Please, please, please. You know, it's a mouthful, as you can imagine. But the gist is, this guy is married to a wealthy wife, and a family are always buying out, and he feels that he's inadequate, with the lack of better word. I think the bone of contention is this holiday matter. But before I go to the women on the panel, I'll go to the only man on the panel, Jags. Why is it that it's so difficult? What is it that rubs your ego in the wrong way when you've got a family member, or you're married to you knew that this girl's family she's a well-to-do girl. Why does it bother you? As in, they said when a man leaves a wife, they become together. Her money is your money, your money. So what's the problem here?
No. Your money is not your money. No, I've seen it a lot of times. It never worked. It never worked. For everyone I knew, it never worked for them. See, the moment decisions start coming from your wife's family, you no longer have a home, you no longer have a union. No matter how the problem, no matter what the situation you're going through in your matrimonial home, decision making should not come from any of the spouse's family, be it the father, the husband family, or the wife family. The moment two become one, you exchange vows for better, for worse, or for better, or for whatever language you use these days. What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Either they drink gari or they eat chicken. It is not their business. It's okay for anybody to cry to their family and say, Daddy, we're struggling. Help us with this thing. There are ways families will help you, and it will not come with, subtle shapes. Do you get? There are some families, they will help you. In fact, you will not know the difference between the husband and the wife's brother. Do you get? I have my last kid sister, the husband, me and the husband. You would think me and him are the brothers, and my sister is the one who comes from somewhere. Because the closeness between us, nobody can understand. If that guy says tomorrow, Akin, you know what? I want to buy you a car, I will gladly accept it. I've never gone to him to say, oh, give me money, give me this amount. If I tell him I need 10 million, he will give me. I've never gone to him to ask for this kind of money. And he is my brother-in-law. And I see other guys around us saying, I can go to this guy now, ask for this thing, ask him for this amount, tell him to help you, tell him to do this. And I'm like, it's my in-law now. Are you not happy with the kind of closeness me and him are enjoying? You want me to go and tear in the place, But this is somebody who, even when I don't ask, he wants to do. When he sees that I have business ideas, he's going all out for me to do meeting with this governor, to see this senator, that kind of person. So it depends on the kind of relationship. You see what that guy is telling you here is 100% wrong. That guy is right. Is right. I've seen it several times. The marriage is not going to last.
Okay, Jags, let me pause you there. Are you trying to say this girl should not have a relationship because you're not, and I'm just using you as in you're not comfortable that her brothers are looking out for her? Because I don't see, if the shoes were reversed, I don't see a woman having a problem with other family members spending for their children.
You have to understand the difference between a relationship and subtle shades. That's not a relationship. If the sister wants to get any kind of assistance from the family, speak to your husband first. Agree together. If you want to go to your family now, you speak to your husband. You see this thing we're struggling with. What do you think? Daddy is good. Daddy can help us. What do you think? How do we go about it? The relationship will already be there between your husband and your dad. See, this thing, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. I didn't marry a girl because she was always saying, my daddy will help us to do this, my daddy will help us to do that, despite the fact that I'm a man. So you're saying your daddy will make decisions for us in our home, or your brothers will make decisions for you? Because the moment I say something, she doesn't bring it on board. The moment they tell her something, she will listen to those ones. So you're telling me that I may be your husband, I'm just there to fill the gap. I'm not actually the husband. Somebody else outside our four corners of the home is making the decision. It's never going to work.
Okay. Before I go to the ladies, I'm going to ask you one more question. So let's just paint a scenario from what we've read here. This is the lifestyle that this girl has known. Her parents have always provided for her. She's got brothers to look out for. Are you saying she should sever the relationship she has with her siblings just to make you comfortable?
No, look, in 2019, I went for a wedding in Lagos. One of our friends, he married this lady who comes from a very rich family, and they have vessels. They help oil companies lift the product from refinery to the shore in Lagos. And when he was going into this marriage, we sat him down. We told him, "Come, you are marrying into a wealthy family. You have to catch your cool. All this, I'm a London boy. I do this and that. I don't want to swear.
Mm.
You have to calm down. Before that girl does anything, he will say, "Oh, she wants me for paper. She wants me for papers." And I'm like, "You need to shut up. This girl was born in UK. If she wanted paper so badly, instead of spending millions of naira on you guys' wedding, she can as well pay somebody £7,000 or £8,000 and get the paper like that." So stop saying she wants you for money. If the girl says, "Oh, we're buying first class, we're going to New York from London," he will say, "That's waste of money. You can't do that." Why now? He will say they should go and sit down at the back. Ogbeniwa, this is the lifestyle she's used to.
Okay.
She said to you, she made it clear that her money is your money. She's not going to take permission from somebody before you can spend. She's not asking for direction from somebody. She handed over the account to you. She has 2 houses in Lekki. She has gifts. And she is telling you, this is for us. Guy,
Okay.
you need to calm down. And the marriage collapsed. Anyway, police came and kicked him out of the house because he was beating the wife. So
Okay.
we have
Which
to
is
understand the difference.
which is very unfortunate. But thank you, Jazz, because I wanted to drill into that, that you're not asking her to live the lifestyle that she's used to. So let me come to the lady because everybody is ready to come on board. Let's start with Talia. Talia, what's your view on this? Because it's as if a lot of people like, okay, this guy is a crybaby. What's the big deal? This is the lifestyle she's used to. She's not doing anything out of the extraordinary. It's just her, as they say, she's just adjusting to her brothers. So what's the big deal?
I think this should have been. I do. To be honest, I won't lie. I think the guy is just being. I think he's doing too much. I do understand that. I can understand that the woman's brothers are definitely shading him. I can understand that, but to them, that's just bant. I think at some point the husband needs to put on his big boy panties and get on with it. Like, you're not broke yourself, so what's the issue? At the end of the day, no, it's just bad, And I think, okay, if it's bothering you that much, then the wife does need to say to her brothers, "Okay, guys, cut it out." But banter is something that happens in fact, I feel like banter happens more amongst rich people more than broke people, because broke people take it too personal. Like, you could just be saying something that, rich people. At my workplace, I work in central London, and when I tell you, they shade each other all the time, and to them it's normal. And me, sometimes I'm like, did he just say that?
But it's not a broke
It's
guy.
normal to them.
You said it's not a broke guy.
Sorry. No, I'm not saying he's a broke guy, but obviously he's come from humble beginnings, and that's fine. He's clearly worked his way up and he's doing okay. That's fine. But I think at this point he needs to start to think more like like the position that he has attained. You've done well for yourself. I don't personally think that is a big deal if the wife's family buy the children stuff, and children will be children. Children will be children. Like, for instance, even my kids, like, I can buy my children everything in the world, yeah, and they're like, "Yeah, okay, thank you, mom." It means nothing to them. That's normal. That's life. You're buying me this. I bought my daughter a phone when she was 8, and she was just like, "Oh, thank you, mom." And I'm thinking, is that all I get? Children will be children. They will be excited over especially Nigerian kids, they're very much excited when you give them, all these gadgets and stuff like that, because they don't see it often. And when they, even the rich ones, they will be so excited that you're like, ooh, so I think the guy just needs to, I understand what he's saying, don't get me wrong, and I sympathize 100% with him, but I think at this junction, he does need to put on his big boy panties. I think the wife does need to have a conversation with her brothers and say, you know what, my husband doesn't like this. Please, can we all just get on? Stop the jokes, because he doesn't get it. Clearly, he doesn't understand. He doesn't have that sense of humor. And I understand that he doesn't. That's okay. But there needs to be a conversation that.
All right. Thanks, Talia. So it's a broke mentality. Let me go to Ajike. Ajike, it said this guy has broke mentality. You see how rich people, Dangote and his cousins, chat with you in Lagos. What is it true that he's just not getting it? There's nothing to it. It's such a shade. Like, it's no biggie. Like, he needs to up his ante.
The guy just has issues, Charlie. You should go and arrest him.
The guy has issues, you too.
I just has issues, just has inferiority complex written everywhere. I'm building my own house. What the fuck? That's your business. Like, that's why you should marry within your grade or marry somebody teachable. I really believe in that. I'm sorry, but that is my philosophy, and that's what I will run with. That's what I will teach my child. If some people don't like it, well, I'm sorry. But it may not be the case. I will pray along with the case. But the truth of the matter is that when you people don't think alike, when you don't have visual, when your values are not the same, I'm talking about sitting in Sheraton, you are telling me to come and go to one. You understand? The guy just has, to me, what I just saw written all over it was, he was very insecure. He just, these people some people just have they're just bad bantering. It's just banter, really. Okay, I'll buy you vitamin C, or I'll buy you something when you feel, understand? I'll buy you, instead of buying 15 vitamin C, I'll buy you, what's that place we used to buy vitamin UK? Shop like
Holland and Barrett's.
Good. No, Holland and Barrett's.
Holland and Barrett's. I don't go and buy Emzor vitamin C. I buy you Holland and Barrett's. You don't share Parabaleko, Turaka.
Exactly.
For me, because the guy has inferiority complex. The girl is obviously richer than him. She comes from a family where they give her things. This why is the guess? It means if I want to marry her. What's all this? The guy is well like so much, Daddy.
It's easy to say it here, but when they start marriage palaver with you in real life, you will never.
I don't know. That's why I keep telling you people. I don't know about other people. Me, I married somebody within my grade, my thought process, I'm not saying we do not have issues, but at least according to the standard of today, I've been married like, 15 years. So, at least I'm not a small child in this matter.
Can I give you an example?
Okay.
Can I give you one example?
Thanks, Ajike. Let me go to Sosa, then I'll go to Celia, because Celia is looking up. It's as if she's ready to just
no. I'm just laughing at what Ajike is saying.
Think about it this way. Like, put yourself in that guy's shoes. Everyone says it's just banter, but we don't all have thick skin. There's so much a man can take, especially when you're 1 against 5. She's the only girl with 3 brothers. And you know what? His own money does not cut across. And now they're even telling him to go to Holland and Barrett to go and buy vitamin C. That can really hurt a man's ego. Is it justifying saying, look, man, I'm not saying I can't take care of you, but take the chill pills, spend some time with me, have my back. It's the least you could do in a marriage.
Exactly.
I actually agree that although it looks like the man has got a little bit of inferiority complex when he said my house, but looking at it properly, apart from being married, we are all human. We cannot approach this the same way. You are married to your husband, there's a possibility that things he might not have the same thought process, and that's where compromise comes in. Even if I have a friend that is a girl and there's something about my family, or there's something that is really, really eating her up, I cannot say, put your big pants, put your bigger pants on, because I'm not her. The way I will handle the situation is not the way she will handle the situation. If you love somebody and you really care about that person's feeling, I don't see any problem. It is just this is not big issues in marriage. If you care about your husband's feeling, and this is actually obviously affecting him to the extent that, even the children, when things happen to somebody and when you start picking those negative things, that is big in the man's heart, I know that it's not because the children prefer the woman's family, it's not an issue for him, just because of the way he feels. There's this what they said, emasculation, guys, the guys are the most disastrous things that you can do to your partner, a man, is to act or say anything that kind of emasculates him. They don't like it,
Okay, so give me an example. What would emasculate a man?
For example, if I have a family tradition, there's nothing that cannot be broken. If I have a family tradition for many years and we have to go on holiday, my husband is sick, I will not allow him to even suggest for me not to go. Automatically, that vacation is cancelled because I need to take care of my husband.
Exactly.
My husband, it would be stupid if the case was reversed.
So sick, he's sick and he's writing this kind of long letter. He's sick. He said, I want to write this long letter. It's a lie. It's a lie.
We don't know.
Man, just look for that story to put in that letter. It should come out as a lie.
Hold on. I'll come back to you. Sosa. Hold on, let Sosa finish and then I'll come back.
Yes, I'm just saying it. We don't know how true this story is, but I'm just saying it from a human perspective. If your husband is sick, especially some men, they are saying men. Some men are quite very, very soft, and if you are married to one of them, you know that they are quite sensitive. This is your marriage. You're not married to your brother anymore. You've left that family, and this is a small family.
Exactly.
The sacrifice that you can make. Okay, I want to stay with my husband, even if the trip is like 10 days. Okay, I'll stay with my husband for 6 days or for 5 days, and I'll meet him for halfway. There are ways that you can make the man feel like you are not, your action. You still understand his feelings and you are putting his feelings into consideration. I'm sure the man is frustrated because what the little thing that he says about children liking the woman's family is born out of frustration. They just maybe they try to address it and secondly, before I go, they were dating in the first place. I want to understand how the man felt because this behavior did not just start in marriage. So the man must have said, oh, your brother is booking you up for the wedding. Okay, anyway, that's good. For you, all those things were sliding, you were enjoying those benefits. And you think that when you marry the woman, automatically it's like a switch now. Because I'm not your husband, what I say goes, so it depends. He actually maybe he put up with that. I know those benefits were coming before they got married. He enjoyed it. I'm thinking that now that I'm married now, I want to be the man of the house. So it's like a bit tricky, it's both ways. But what I'm going to say is that if this situation is real and people are listening, I'm going to say life, there's nothing that is complicated. It's humans that are complicated. There's nothing that conversation or compromise cannot do. Actually, if somebody is not taking you for granted, of course, what's that? Family vacation. It's just once every year. So what? I can go with my husband, feel better.
Exactly.
That's my own point of view, honestly.
Okay, Talia, I'll come to you, but let me go to Celia. So before you answer, should this woman cancel her holiday as Sosa suggested? Because this is a family tradition. This is not just for her as a person, it's for the kids as well. So does that mean her tradition or this guy's sickness trumps her tradition? A tradition is no longer important? What do you think?
Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, let me just quickly answer that question. On a normal day, if that man is really sick, as I think Sosa said, the man does not even have to tell her to cancel. She would cancel by herself. But the way I'm looking at it, this man not really they sick like that. It'd be like just small fever. Oh, I have COVID, because COVID now is not really anything like that again. Maybe the man is just running a bit of
flu. It's man flu.
And the girl knows that, okay, this vacation now, if I don't go, this man is not really sick. And if they leave tomorrow now, it would miraculously be well. And the next thing he wants to, do things. So this sickness, I don't think it was as severe because I don't think the girl is that insensitive. I think this man just came up with that sickness just to make her not go. So that when the man talks, the man only planned this thing. So that when he says his story and he tells us that I was even sick and she still went. And then everybody like, what kind of a wife man? Your husband was sick, you still went to this family vacation. Couldn't you have postponed it or whatever?
All of you are just helping them to construct story. You are helping them to
let me
cost.
wait, be the
Yeah,
wait now.
wait.
But the thing is, yeah,
But if they
I
turn the cookie around, none of you can accept. You will say you're sleeping with the mom or sister.
Wait, Jags, I'll come.
But the thing is, I agree with what Bidemi said. I agree with what Talia said. I agree with what Ajike said. And I agree with what Success said. Because when you look at the whole scenario, I just feel the man is too sensitive, yeah? And he allowed himself, because now he's feeling less than, yeah? And he allowed himself to feel that way. Sometimes when you're marrying a woman that is richer than you, yeah, you have to look at, okay, because the man is not a Bini man. Let me just put it that way. Because if the man was a Bini man, oh no, that money now for your pocket. I don't know if you have that money or not, but what I say will still go. So first of all, his in-laws will not even be able to be shading him like that. Because when they will see him, they will say, pardon more. That's what they will be telling him. Do you understand? The man allowed himself to feel that way. Because when he saw that, okay, these people have more money than me, that inferiority complex kicked in. Because as Sosa rightly said, it's when they were dating. There are some bands that will go on. When they give him, he will give them back. When they give him, he should give them back. Do you understand that when they're already dating, they should already have that rapport of say, forget, you get money now for your pocket. Do you understand? And then also, the girls' brothers, they don't hate him, or they don't dislike him, or they don't see him as you are not up to our level. Because if they did, they will not allow their sister marry the guy. That's how
It's
I
a lie.
Celia, hold on. Celia, hold on. Let me
have nothing to bring to the table. They have respect for the guy, but the guy has not harnessed into it to claim the respect the brother-in-laws have for him.
Let me ask you something, Celia. Don't you think, bans or no bans, she should have nipped this in the bud, because this is really her husband.
Yeah, and that's why I said I agree with Bidemi and Sosa, because if you see that your husband is not finding it funny, then you should be saying to your brothers, bro, I beg, that play, not play amo.
I told them, and the guys are just being guys, and these guys doesn't normally say.
That's why I said, because the thing is, what this guy is
sensitive person. I beg, this man should just. Who is
he's putting the girl in a very.
Guys, hold on. I'll come to you guys. Celia,
he's putting the girl in a very difficult position, because I see this man as the kind of man that would say, you need to choose between me and your brothers. Choose your marriage or choose your brothers. And I don't think that's fair. And from what he has described, except he hasn't really told us a lot of things, the girl, he hasn't really done anything for you to say, oh, wow, she's such a bad wife. Okay, you said you were not well. She assessed the situation. Let me tell you, women that run a home, we are risk assessors. Yes. We know how to manage risk. We look at the situation. My husband was very ill 2020 December. He was almost dying. They not born anybody to say, come to any holiday. Do you understand? Even if my parents were sick in Nigeria, in short, I will remain with my husband and they will understand, because I know my husband is very sick to the point of dying, right? Now, if my husband tells me I'm sick, I would have already seen the way he has been behaving since. And I'm going to say, okay, number one, the holiday is coming, so you are not happy about it. So now, very convenient. Last year, you were not sick. The year before, all of a sudden this year, why are you sick at this time of the holiday? So now I'm going to assess how sick he is. Is he sick enough that if I cook all the soup and stew in the fridge and tell your sister to come and stay with you, is that not going to be enough? Are you going to die before I come back? If the answer is no, and you know that he's just doing it because he does not want you to go, then I'm sorry. I just might still go for the holiday. All right.
But I think just ask you, if you're a woman, for example, if the case was reversed, how many of us as a woman have not used some kind of excuse to delay our husband to be with us? It doesn't matter if he was actually sick. You know what I mean? I have used there, like, because you don't want your husband to go out or to be somewhere. You say, I'm not feeling well. If it was the woman that was sick and the man goes out, we all would say, oh, it doesn't matter, the woman was pretending. It doesn't matter.
That's different. That is different.
How is it different?
The way is different. The way is different is because this is a family holiday that happens just once a year. I know it happens every year, but your husband can go out. If he doesn't go out today because you are sick, he can go out tomorrow. But the children are already looking forward to this holiday.
It's my family now. It's not his extended family. So if my husband had a tradition that is going to with his family, every year. And 1 year I said I don't want him to go to that tradition. And I'm doing everything, putting all the tricks to make him stay. He will have to stay because he's
but what I don't even understand. Sorry, can I just make this
the
point?
reason for him to stay with me, because this is my family, this is my small component. Every other thing outside this now is an extended family. So the girl, the man is a family, number one family. Then the
family is no longer your family.
family of the man.
I agree with you, Sosa. I agree with you, but it is selfish of you as a woman or as a man to now bring up an illness just because you don't want your wife to go to a place that is very important. It is selfish, and that is a form of domestic violence. Let me just
hold on. Hold on. Let me hold on, guys.
That woman or that man not to go to that place. Except you have very good reason.
Okay, guys.
Except you have very good reason. You have a very good reason. Yeah. Sorry, let me wait 1 second. If you have a very good reason, yeah, then it's a different situation. But if you don't, and the thing is, the man is saying that your brothers disrespect me, they don't respect me. Okay, sit down at home and don't go for the holiday then. The girl is not even forcing you to go.
He doesn't normally. He said that. He never
goes. Okay, guys, hold on. Guys, hold on. Let me go to Jack.
That's domestic violence, so people don't know.
Hold on.
I don't
Drink water. Drink water on top of that. Jags.
Coercive control. Go and Google it. You'll see.
Jags, let me come to you. Let's pitch a picture. So the wife is cooked. As a man, you're supposed to think of your wife's needs as well. This is a family tradition. You're supposed to help her harness a family tradition. Is it too bad for her to go with your children? She's not going by herself. And she's made preparation to look after you, someone to support you while she's, it's only for a few days. Is that too much?
Have you guys read the lady's side of the story?
Exactly.
Because
we will get to the lady. We will get to the lady.
You guys are coming story of the behalf. Maybe there's something I don't know.
Very convenient to say that. You don't know what the other side is. It's like
Exactly.
the man's
reason I asked that question.
Sorry, I'll come to you. I'll come to you after Jags, I promise.
Reason I asked that question is because it's coming across as if you guys have read the response of the woman. I haven't. So it is easy for you to help them figure out the story. But in my opinion, if I'm going to compare Davido with LAX, considering the fact that LAX's father is richer than Davido's father 10 times. But you can
I don't even know who LAX is.
LAX, the guy that signed looking for Caro Eba with Whiskey. You know that guy, LAX.
Yes.
His father owns Sifax shipping tarmac in Lagos. Every container coming to Nigeria comes through him. Okay,
but what's the point?
The point is, you see those guys, they're just spoiled brat. They're spoiled brat. They don't need to be told not to disrespect their sister's husband. Either he is calm, either he's a vegetable or not. LAX comes from a multi-billion naira family. LAX will see you here and dobale for you. LAX will never attack you or curse you online. So don't tell me that it is because they're wealthy or it's a family tradition. We live with them, we go out with them. We know some wealthy people, they're just spoiled brats. They disrespect you online, talk to you anyhow, they disrespect anybody. And we know some very wealthy, extraordinary wealthy, and they're very humble, down to earth. So it is not a matter of
money.
Tradition, it's money, or they were born into this wealth, he should accept it. No, some people are just very quiet. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to fight for themselves. And when they get pushed to the wall, they come out and people will say, oh, he's a baby. And then you keep saying men don't speak up. Men don't speak up. So when are they supposed to speak up? This guy has spoken up and we're still calling him a crybaby. So how does he win the battle?
The fact that he spoke up does not make him 100% right.
Celia, hold on. Talia, good one. We asked men to speak up. Now he's speaking. We're saying he's a crybaby. Is he not justified to be a crybaby at this point?
I don't think anyone is saying that he's a crybaby. Like I said, I understand why he's feeling the way he's feeling. listen, when you're among certain people, yes, you're right. It doesn't, rich people, some rich people are very humble and some aren't. The majority of rich people are not humble. You take a handful of them that are.
Poor people are not humble. You're allowed to
When
say
you're
about rich
around,
people.
but when you're around certain people, I think that I haven't read this woman's response, and quite frankly,
You'll be shocked.
I can't wait what she has to hear what
You'll
she
be
has
shocked.
to say.
Yeah.
What from reading that story, I was a bit like, I bet, guy, calm down. Like it's really not that big of a deal. If you find that your brothers are offending you, that's fine. Talk to your wife. My brothers are offending you. Can you handle it, please? Furthermore, you don't need to talk to your wife. These are your brother-in-laws. How about you take them out of a drink and say, you know what, guys, our sense of humor are different. Yeah? I know you guys are not trying to be harmful to me. Even if they are, give them that benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, you guys are not trying to shade me, but actually what you do and what you say is hurtful. How about you do that? That's what I mean by putting on your big boy panties and sorting out this issue. You're putting your wife in an awkward situation. Remember that she's the only daughter, and she's used to have been smothered by all these loves by her brother. So how can you now tell her? In her mind, she doesn't even know that her brothers are doing anything wrong because she's lived with that all her life. So if you are offended by it and you've told your wife and you feel your wife is not handling it, guy, you can handle it yourself because you are man enough. Take them out for a drink and be like, you know what? You guys probably don't mean to be hurtful, but what you say sometimes is hurtful. You know, we're supposed to be brothers. I don't understand your sense of humor because it might just be that they're joking. And from the way that I read that thing, even the guy himself, I think he acknowledged that it is banter, but he is not having that banter because he doesn't have that sense of humor. So I don't think we should be saying, the woman, the girl should, because the guy is sick. Like Celia rightfully said, women were very good at judging situations. We risk assess even before you men have thought about it. Furthermore, if the man is sick, he can follow them. He will be well by the time he has had sunshine in a nice country. He will feel well and come back. He's just being a crybabe. Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean
you can't use that word.
Like, he's just whining unnecessarily. Like, and Mr. I think you're taking it a bit personal. Like you're essentially saying that, oh well, women should humble themselves. Women should be under their husbands. How bad now? This woman.
Did you hear that?
But that's what your response is sounding like that. Your response is sounding like, oh, to be at home, she should be doing this, she should be doing that. She should put her father's money at the back. Let's be truthful.
Talia, can I ask? Sorry, Jabajantis, I'll come back to you. But Talia, can I ask a question? If the roles were reversed, would you take this?
Auntie, before the man says the family are going on holiday, me, I packed my
pack your bag.
Yes or no sickness. I think that
we're not allowed to join in
Africans.
No, the man is allowed.
That's allowed.
There's certain things yes, I would. Excuse me. Before his brother said they want to buy him gifts, to buy me gifts.
Hold on, Jawadantis, I'll come to you.
If the roles were reversed, before the brothers are saying they want to buy him gifts, they should buy me gifts first. I think sometimes in our African mentality, we take certain things that are not really serious. We take it too serious. Even if the family are buying things, they should buy me things too. They should make sure my kids are okay. Let me focus on me. Because at the end of the day, what is it? It's just money, for God's sake.
Okay.
And can I just say, if the tables were turned, right, and it was the man's family that was doing this woman like this, we would not even be trashing this topic because it would just be the norm. Do you understand? If it was the man's family, it would just be the norm. You are the wife, be married. Just accept it.
Exactly.
No, but if the woman cries out,
and she's not gonna cry, the man would tell her to just mature.
I disagree.
And take it.
It's the man's family
If the woman
Brothers are
comes,
never going to treat
I
the
think
wife like
Have
that.
you seen how many sister-in-laws will insult their brother's wife and nothing will be done
You
about
guys don't
it?
take
Because
it.
the woman is the woman they married and she cannot talk.
yeah,
She should
if
just
No,
accept
no.
it.
it was the woman,
Alright.
it was the woman who was standing up for the woman.
Don't accept this
So
thing.
this situation, I don't know about the woman's response, but this situation, I'm just
There
looking
was
at
one thing I actually wanted to ask, actually.
for the man, and he's just looking for every slightest excuse. It must have been, they must have had this issue for a while, and maybe
You know how long he's been holding it
sometimes
before
those things that's gonna make him feel less of a man, and he's complaining to the wife that, listen, I'm not saying, even some men with that kind of situation, okay, go with your family, don't just be doing their
If
own.
he's feeling less of a man, he should leave.
Try to fix
Because
it.
there's no need for him to feel less of a
Let me
man.
tell
If
you.
he's feeling less of a man,
Okay,
he
hold
should
on.
leave. If you're feeling
Hold on, guys. Hold on, hold on. Let me go to Jags
Italian.
and then I'll come to Charlie and then Ajike. Jags, you were saying something. Sorry, I lost you there.
I said this thing has nothing to do with Nigerians, Nigerians. You can't tell an Italian, you can't do this with an Italian or an Albanian. You have to give them their space. See, let us call a spade a spade. We're not going to say because of longer throats or because they have money and this and that. My wife, no wife of mine can do that. It is not because of ego or because of pride or because of inferiority complex. Which money? Where is the money? Where is the money? But when I say we, this is we. You come first in everything I do. In everything you do, I come first. So if you want to go with your family, me and you have to sit down. Well, my own relationship with my brother-in-laws, we're like 5 and 6. We drink, we do things together, things that we can't even discuss with my own wife. That is how
there was this German guy that
we have boundaries and we respect that boundary. Do you get? We have, you know.
You have good relationship.
I don't know how to say this, but as I am, there are some jokes I cannot make around my sisters about their husbands. It is uncalled for. See, when we say we're throwing bands, we're throwing bands. Sorry now. Let's give respect to whom respect is due. If you want to do your bands with your sister when I'm not there. Do it at home. Don't bring your nonsense to me.
All right, hold on.
But how do you know that these guys don't actually respect that guy? Banter is not disrespectful. I hope you know that. It depends on how one receives it.
Okay.
It's how you receive it.
Right.
That's what we class as disrespect.
I want us to peel off another layer before I read the wife's response. Children. We know kids are easy to buy. Let's be honest. If you're the person that allows them to play on your phone, if you're the kind of aunt that gives them money, if they are the aunt kind of aunt that let them have that leeway, you'll be the favorite. And from what this guy is saying, Ajike, the children prefer a side of the family. Is it not justified in saying, you don't rate me? Not only do you not rate me, this disrespect is now getting to my family.
How is it the children's fault? How?
Who did they ask? Is it you, Celia? Because
if you are then I'll and then I'll come to Celia.
The guy is just being petty. He should take them to their family now.
Yeah, but you say when they get there, they want to leave because the other side
have miserable.
That's a lie. Because
you know what?
It might just relationship is built. My son is equally as close to my people as he is to his father's people. I choose to do that because my husband's relatives, they live around us, so we go to their houses. But at the same time, it's only normal. See, I as unfair as this may sound, and I have a son, and somehow it's on the, I don't know, is it the ebbs or the undertones of life? Children tend to be closer to their mother's family. It's just because, like now, as I'm talking to you, I'm in my father's house. I have gone out with my sister's children today. My mom has just called me now. There are some things that, it's just, but like somebody mentioned here, it depends on how you want to build your own family. My husband's side of the family too. I decided that, okay, I didn't want it to be one-sided. So my husband's family members that are willing to accept me in their circle. He wants, so I'm not going to say all of us. There are some people that our head is on the same frequency. So we are the ones that are running things together. Yeah. If you feel that your children, there are some people in my husband's family that feel that their children are better than mine. Yes, it's all right, stay there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those same people, if you see them on their mother's side of the family, they are closer to those people. So I think it's really how many men carry their children to even their own father and their own mother have been finished greeting them.
No, they don't.
So that's why I always tell people that in a relationship, when people are having in-law issues, like you say, I'm not close to my husband's family, really it's your husband's fault. Pack them inside motor, go and stay there morning to night. How many men can do that? Most men don't do that.
Exactly.
Me, I've carried my son now, I've come here, I'm not going to leave here until Saturday. I know nobody will flog me.
So,
I was going to
say, in a car and take me to Ijagbo, I'll go and stay with these people.
But do you know that there are some marriages where like you just left now? Some men, and I was married and my children were closer to my husband's family because those are the families that it wasn't. I did try my best as much as possible to bring them to my family, but he didn't like it at all. Whenever I go, that one is a different case because it was a situation that now looking at it, is something that about under control and stuff like that. But when we're in a platform like this, we have to be very careful. We have to look at two sides of argument and be transparent so that somebody.
I was very careful. I said I don't know about other people. Me, I'm speaking for myself. No man cannot tell me. I have not seen the man. They have not born him in this life. That will tell me, Ajite, that my own children will not be close to my husband. It's true that I wanted to accept it like that. But you felt that way. You felt compelled.
No, the reason why I'm saying that, Ajite, is because there are some families as well. There are some people out there that are in a situation where the children are kind of close. Sometimes it might not just be because the man wants it. It might just be that this family comes to the house all the time. They as adults,
be close to who they children.
I know people. I have cousins on my mother's side of the family that we don't talk.
Yeah. No, what I mean is that the parents
on my mother's, not my father. My mother, in fact, me, when I was growing up, my father went to pack the whole of Kaba. They were living in this house. The whole Kaba.
What I'm trying to say is that
so I was closer to my father's side of the family. So it wasn't like maybe just my mom. As I've grown up, I'm beginning to choose my relationships as I want. And I believe as an adult married woman,
to any of the parents, if it's a problem to the house, I think what the parents would have done is to make the children. It depends on the ages of the children because children they just they're kids. That's why we say they are kids.
Kids.
If the father sees that this is happening, like my own case too, I did try as much as possible. I was telling my sisters to come into the house. I let the children know. Oh, do you know this is your auntie on the phone? This is your auntie. This is that. It is the responsibility of the man to make the children understand. Even the woman, if I was the woman, I would say, you know what, this is daddy's sisters as well, this auntie, this uncle.
It's as if you did not hear me. You didn't hear what I said.
You know what,
I told you that my husband side of the family, there are people that I have wanted to go to the house and they will tell me they are not at home.
It's really unfair as well that to burden the woman with all this.
People don't want to be close to you. They don't want to know you. They don't want to know you and your children. People like that, they don't want to be close to anybody. So me, even my own family here, my son has never met my brother. My brother lives in the UK. But yes, on the phone, okay, hello, how are you? Fine. So obviously he will be closer to my sister that is here. He will be closer to my sister that is here than to my brother that is over there.
Yeah, because there's no problem with it at all right now with you. Everybody is fine with it. But what I mean is that if it comes to a place where one of the parents is feeling that their family, the children are not loving their own family, is their
to rely on them to carry the children? Is it not his child? And then not them is